Street Fighter 6 beta is coming to an end. I think it's like 30 minutes left. It's 1:30 in the morning right now. I played 11 hours total. I ended at a staggering gold 3. It's not really the point of a beta, right, to play ranked. I just wanted to mention it. But more importantly, I want to talk about kind of what I learned in that 11 hours. There was a few things that I have some problems with, but overall, I think it's a really good package. I think it's actually a AAA title with every feature that you would expect for a AAA price tag. And we haven't even seen the whole game, right? You know, we don't even have the single player in the beta. That's just the multiplayer stuff that feels and runs very smoothly. Throughout the beta, I pretty much only played Juri. I did mess around with like Ken and Chun and a few other characters just to say that I tried them, but I played Juri pretty much the whole time, and she was way more fun than I expected. Her new store system works seamlessly. It is 10 times better than Street Fighter V. And I didn't even get in depth with her. Like, I probably just scratched the surface of the character and used all the knowledge I knew from Street Fighter V to play her, because my mentality was I'm not really looking to lab a bunch of stuff and learn everything about this game in this 3 days, because it's going to change significantly before the game comes out, and it's not really what the beta test is for. The beta test is just to play a bunch of games. That's not to say I never went into training mode, though. I definitely went in there to test things that I was losing to, or like things that I had theories about, but I didn't sit there and like figure out every nuanced conversion, everything that the character can do. Some of the stuff I figured out, though, was Juri's store. So if she does like medium kick store and she does that fake overhead, the frame data is drastically different. If you do the normal one without the store, you're only +3 on hit, so you can't really do anything afterwards. But if you have the store, you're +8, so you can get like crouch medium punch into DP, I think, or crouch medium punch into heavy release. A few pieces of frame data that were really interesting to me, that is pretty universal across all the characters, is the fastest buttons were 4 frames. You know, like crouch, jab, and stuff like that were 4 frames. In Street Fighter V, it's 3. So that kind of slows the game down a little bit, I think. Also, a lot of the normals in the game, my friend Juices was telling me this, a lot of the normals in the game across the cast are negative as well. So it kind of cuts down on your pressure options, right? Juri's only plus normal, I think, is stand medium punch. And to be honest with you, I don't fully understand the implications of that yet. I just know that it cuts down on your pressure options to have only one of your normals be plus. A few other important things that I learned was Ryu's solar plexus is plus in that game. So in Street Fighter V, it's negative, and usually you'll press afterwards to take your turn, and then the other Ryu player might, I don't know, DP to steal it back, or he'll parry, or he'll do something to try and steal his turn back if you're playing somebody wild. But in Street Fighter 6, you have to respect it. It's plus. That paired with the fact that Ryu somehow does more damage in Street Fighter 6 than he does in 5, makes him very deadly if he touches you. He's not like the best. He wasn't the best character in the beta, I don't think. I think Juri was the best character in the beta, but his damage was definitely the best. Like, if you got touched by Ryu, you were getting like EX Jodan kick into wall bounce into 50,000%. It was it was pretty ridiculous. The other thing that was kind of ridiculous against me personally on the first day was drive impact. You probably saw a lot of people talking about it. It's the one that's like absorbs a move and then does a counter, and you get, you know, you can get a combo afterwards. Some people are more optimal than others, but you can get a combo afterwards, and it's very good for 1 bar. And the first day that I played, I didn't know how to counter it. Like, I didn't know that you could do it second, and then yours always takes priority, or it always beats the other one out. You can throw, you can jump, you can parry. You have options against it, right? I just didn't know that the first day, and I kept getting hit by it and wall splatted, and I was getting pissed. Like, I was really losing hope that I was going to play for the next couple of days of the beta, because I was getting very upset that people were just randomly doing it in neutral, and I was getting hit every time until I figured out a solution, or was kind of told a solution by my friends. And so the second day rolled around, and I did very well. You know, it was a complete 180. I played a lot better, and it was smooth sailing after that. The game really does not start until you learn how to play against that option. Until you learn how to play against a drive system, I guess. Because until then, you will just get, you know, drive impact. If you don't know how to deal with it, your opponent's just going to keep doing it. The biggest thing for me, if it's still like that when the game comes out, I suggest that you just pick an option to start when you react to it. So, for example, if somebody did it to me, I would just always be hovering over the drive impact thing when I thought it was coming, and then I would press mine second, and I would always win. Of course, that's not the best thing to do, because you have to use your meter in retaliation, but I was just trying to figure out an option that worked at the time. The drive system in general, though, I think is good. I think it's actually a really good system, except maybe drive impact should take 1.5 bars, maybe 2 bars. I think 3 would definitely be too much. Like, it would be pretty obsolete if you made it 3, because then you could do like 1 drive impact, and then you could do like 1 drive rush, and you probably be exhausted by that point. So I'd say 2 bars for drive impact when the game comes out would be like a happy medium to strike. I think 3 bars for the drive rush thing is fine. Something you might not have noticed if you didn't play the beta yourself is when you block for too long, your drive gauge goes down. Like, you lose drive gauge for blocking. That doesn't mean the game is super offensive, though. It just means it punishes you for sitting still too long, I guess. I don't really know. And speaking of defending and pressure and things like that, when I was talking to Juices and Broly and all them, we're talking about corner pressure a lot because your normals aren't as plus as they are in Street Fighter V, right? Like, even Jury Stand Medium Punch is not +3 like it is in Street Fighter V. It's only +2. And there's a lot of situations like that in the game. Like I said, it limits your pressure options. So what Juices was doing and what I started doing when he told me was it was much better to cage your opponent in the corner rather than like walk up and try and continue pressure. Like, just to cage him in the corner with your normals was very effective. In Street Fighter V, we often want to reset our pressure by jumping in or walking up and grabbing him or dashing or something. But in this game, it just felt way better to hold them there with like Jury Stand Medium Kick or Stand Heavy Kick or crouch medium kick, right? Cancel into something and then back up a little bit and hold your ground and just keep them in the corner as much as you can. It felt like you had such a big advantage doing it that way, rather than, I don't know, risking them drive impacting you and then you lose your advantage. And when you got a knockdown, you really had to be cognizant of if they're going to wake up and do drive impact, or whether they're going to wake up parry, or whatever they're going to do on wake up, right? Because the drive system introduces some new stuff, and it felt like you didn't get quite as much of an advantage as you'd like to off of a knockdown because of some of these systems. And so what Juices was saying was you just have to be content with your advantage from a knockdown or the end of a combo being that you gain space. Like, you got closer to the corner. You didn't necessarily get a situation where you can pressure them because of the stuff they can do with this new system, but you definitely got space, so be content with that. And the closer to the corner you get, the better, right? Because it is a little like, it's kind of hard to get out of the corner if the other person cages you properly. That's also pretty true in Street Fighter V, but especially in this game, I found myself being able to hold people there with just Stand Medium Kick or Stand Heavy Kick for a very long time. And if all else fails, right, you have your drive impact. Sometimes I'd throw out the drive impact. You get a free wall splat if they block it in the corner, because they get pushed back and the pushback splats them against the wall. It's like a unblockable type situation. That's why I said you have to figure out how to fight that drive impact and the drive system before the game can really start. Like, you cannot play a normal game of Street Fighter until you figure out how that works, or else you will just get decimated by a drive impact. And I know you're thinking, well, how is that possible? You know, he has to use his meter, his drive gauge, to do a drive impact, so why isn't he exhausted? It's because it only takes 1 bar, like I said, so you can use it many times. you can use it a lot more times than you would think because it only costs 1 bar. Last thing I want to touch on is the netcode. It was phenomenal, because what I was doing to get into training mode when I just wanted to go in there and figure out something real quick is I would connect to a European lobby and go all the way to the bottom where like nobody was in there because the time zones are completely different from mine. I would go in there, I would find like a cabinet and then get into training mode. And one time somebody found me and they challenged me and I had to play them, and it was like 140 ping and it was completely fine. It felt great. And if you remember, I made a video, I think a couple months ago now, where I said I could not be excited for Street Fighter 6 because I had to see the netcode first. I can't be excited for a game that I can't play online. But I'm extremely happy to report that it works great, especially in crossplay scenarios, right? That was a big concern because that's where the issues start with Street Fighter 5, is playing between the PlayStation and the PC. But in the beta, I mean, playing with the PS5 or playing with the Xbox, it was fine. It worked flawlessly. I can truly say in that 11-hour span, no matter what the ping was, what the rollback frames were, I did not have a bad match. So big ups to Capcom for that. And big ups to Capcom for the entire game, man. I cannot wait for you guys to play it. I hope they have an open beta or something before it comes out, because it truly is something amazing compared to 5. And you guys know I love Street Fighter 5, right? It's my first fighting game. It holds a special place in my heart, but I'm very happy that its successor is shaping up to be even better. You know, gameplay wise, menu wise, everything. It's just a complete package. That's all I can say. And when time comes for you to spend your $60, you can be comfortable in that purchase and know that you are getting a full product. This is not an ad. This is like my true feelings on the situation. And if you're a lab rat, I think you will fall in love with this game. I mean, there's just so many things to learn, and every character is so complex. I mean, even Ryu, Chun, you know, like the quintessential Street Fighter characters, the iconic characters that we always tell beginners to play, they even have sauce. Like, they have so much stuff for you to explore. Not to say that you need to know all of it to play them, but it's there. It's there for you to explore. It's there for you to use. Chun especially was a surprise to me. You know, that stance doesn't look like much at first, but those follow-ups all have some use. You know, they're all very useful. The stance itself is useful, because if you go into it, you go under like sonic booms and stuff. Even Juri's stores, right? Something very simple in the past that's just given her special moves, now gives her follow-up. Now changes the frame data of those follow-ups. It makes different combos possible. And remember, she still has the Feng Shui engine. I think that's what it's called, right? Or is it the Tandon engine? I don't remember. She still has that, you know, the custom create a combo thing that pretty much has endless possibilities. It doesn't seem like a game that's going to have one combo that's the most optimal conversion every single time. Like, it seems like you're gonna have situational combos, counter hit combos, punish counter combos. It's going to have a lot of diversity, I think, in places where everyone is looking for it. But yeah, those are my impressions. It's now 2:02 a.m. The beta is down officially, so I think this is a pretty poetic and good place to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I'll talk to you again very soon.